Arrogance is the hallmark of a weak mind, a camouflage of insecurity, and inability to see one's own faults. Building Spiritual Muscles welcomes you all to a last workshop of this series. It's round 2 today, so a lot of takeaways and tools. So let's shift the spotlight to our spiritual healer and life coach, Vindri Kaurji. Over to you, Poaji.
Good evening to all. Good morning to the overseas. Sat Sri Akal. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, and Ram Ram Ji. So we are back again. I know yesterday was a very long session, but very, very important. Very, very important. So let us see now the benefits, the constructive part of arrogance. I told you before also, all the vices and all are already in our genes. They are the proteins, and we have to make that into constructive or destructive. That is up to us. That is our choice. So that means arrogance is there. And we have discussed about all the arrogance, the different names that were being used, and mostly on the destructive side. But today we're going to talk about the benefits of being arrogant. That means now we're bringing into the constructive side. So what does it come? Now you will see on the screen the benefits of being arrogant. So please be seeing the screen. It says what? Arrogance can be positive. The benefits of arrogance can be positive. Let us think on a different way. Let us think on a different way. What does it say? That if there is arrogance in a constructive way, it allows you to be a leader. It allows you to be a leader. Because arrogance is क्या? Negative is क्या? मैं ही मैं हैगा, सब कुछ मैं ही हैगा. But अगर साढ़े अंदर एक quality है of a leadership, then this can become a constructive way of how to become a leader. It allows us to be a leader. So this is the positive side of arrogance. This is the constructive side. Live life on your own term. Live life on your own term. That's the thing. That means be independent. Usually when we are in arrogance and all, ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਸਹਾਰਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈਂਦੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ. We always speak because we have that we are enough. We are the Lords. So now if we take it in the constructive way, it says that we become independent. We somewhere do not take, the help of anyone. So it says, the next says, take a stand. This is a very common word which I always use whenever situations come which is being repeated. कि कोई तोनु गलत बोल रहा बार बार बोलता है तो कहते ना कि now what to do? We are going to break down. They can take us for a ride. So what do? Then we usually say take a stand. Take a stand. A person who's arrogant, who has this thing of arrogancy, can make it into a constructive by taking a stand. In spirituality also we always say take a stand. Spirituality doesn't mean that anyone can take you for a ride. But how to take a stand, that is very important. Be opinionated, do not sit on the fence. That means whenever a problem comes in front of you, which is being repeated bar, a person who has the state of an arrogancy can take a stand. Take a stand, but takes it very, very gracefully. He doesn't cross that unhealthy arrogancy. So he takes a stand and he can solve situations, he can handle the situations. Then he breaks next says break the stereotypes. Very important, very, very important. There are many belief systems which we people are following throughout our life. Let it be from our elders, it's come to the next generation, now it is coming to the next generation. This mostly bade stream belief systems which like a karam kand, which we say. So karam kand, these type of belief systems and all, we do not break because we are scared. We are scared. We do not break. So we don't want to come. We don't want to come out of our comfort zone. We want to be in our comfort zone. Usually people are doing that. But a person who has a trait of an arrogance and is going to be constructive, they take a stand and they break these belief system. They break the belief system and they get out of the comfort zone. Very, very simple thing. Agar aaj wo kehde ki bhai going to a varina means ki bhai ye sari society belief system hai. Okay. Now who has that arrogance as a constructive form, has the strength to take a stand and say this is a belief system which I'm going to break. and I get out of my comfort zone, and we are not going to attend it. We are not going to attend this thing because these are all karam kand and we are being misled. We have that arrogance as a constructive form. We break the belief system, step out of our comfort zone, take a stand. And this is where arrogance is called as a positive side of arrogance. Very, very important, because आजकल दी दुनिया दे विच लोग डरदे हैं. They do not want to break any of the belief system. Any of the belief. Let it be religious form, let it be a family form, let it be in the office, let it be in the society. There are many belief systems coming. ਅਸੀਂ ਡੇਰਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗਾ. These are all belief systems. ਅਸੀਂ ਮੰਗਲਵਾਰ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਕਰ ਲਵਾਂਗੇ. ਬਿੱਲੀ ਰਸਤਾ ਕੱਟ ਗਈ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗਾ. So many belief systems which we are trying to break. Who can take? If we become constructive, arrogance is there. We get out of our comfort zone. So this is very important. These are the benefits of being arrogant. कदी-कदी बड़े लोग तो उनके कहन के विची ये अपने आप ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਨੇ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਹੈਗੀ society ਨਹੀਂ ਮੰਨਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ how can they break these things and all ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਕਿ ਬੜੇ ਕਮੰਡੀ ਹੈਗੇ that's what they say but this is the positive side of arrogance so don't be scared please take the step now next slide says the steps to being confident without being arrogant already I've done you the difference between arrogance and confidence. Arrogance is negative, confidence is positive. Now, what is the steps of being confident minus arrogance? Without being arrogant. Now, the first thing says, know your strength and weakness. A person who's confident, he knows his strength and weaknesses. He is very confident. He knows this is my strength and this is my weakness. So, the first step of when you are using confidence. Next is practice frugality. That means that the person knows what he is practicing. No hypocrisy. He knows his work very, very well. He knows it very well. Next it says track success and failure. He knows where I have lost, where I have won, where I've been successful and where I've been failure. Okay. Then it says talk less, listen more, be mindful of others. We have only learned to talk throughout life. That's what we people have been doing. So what we say is that please listen to the people. We people don't. Those people who have confidence, they always listen to the people. They talk less, but they have the art of listening to the people because they are knowing their own weaknesses. They know all their strength. They know they're very well read. They have the confidence in themselves. That is why they listen, because when you're going to listen to someone, they're going to give their own inputs. And when they give their inputs and all, we decide, yes, we can accept it. Confident people will accept it. If it is right, they will accept it. Then they talk less. They are mindful of others. They're very careful on the others' feelings, emotions. Now we come to it, beware of body language and develop good relation and friendship. Now, body language, why? When a person is arrogant, the body language shows it, definitely shows it. It shows that they're very crude, they're very harsh. The language will say, their body will show, the muscles will clench up, the fist will clench up, the eyes will show. So what happens when we are confident? Beware of your body language. The body language mellows down. It mellows down. It gives a vibration of confidence. The body language. So be very careful and beware of your body language. And when you have a good body language, you can develop good friendship. Arrogance, you will not. Friends are going to leave you. And then we come track success and failure. Confident people, what will they do? They always will say, okay, this is where I have failed. This is where I have succeeded. And even if I have failed, let that be a stepping stone. Let that be a stepping stone for my success. So what happens when you are confident? Confident is a very positive energy, very positive energy. It is opposite of arrogance. But we always mix it up. ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਕਿ you are very arrogant, ਤੂੰ ਬੜਾ ਹੰਕਾਰੀ ਹੈ. ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਹੰਕਾਰਿਆ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਹੈਗਾ? I am very confident. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੇਰੀ confidence ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੱਤਾ. Yes, we definitely mistake confidence and arrogance. So now you should be aware of it, that we do not mix up these two energies. So we're learning more on the positive side, on the constructive side of arrogance. Okay. Now the next shows come how to overcome arrogance. How to overcome arrogance. Now, let's see the first point. What does it say? Don't make people like you through your achievements. Now, for example, I am in arrogance. I'm talking about myself. I'm in arrogance. Now, how to overcome this arrogance? What do? I will not make people like me. मैं कुछ भी अच्छा काम कर दी, कुछ भी achievement कर दी हैं, so I want people to like me for it. So my focus is outside. I have done certain things. Are people appreciating me? Are people liking me? Stop it. Because when we go and focus on people's appreciations, then what happens? It shows our arrogance because there's an expectation there. The next point says, see the values in others. The next point says, don't make people like you through your achievement. Now comes the next point, see the value in others. That means we have never, arrogant people will never see the values of others. वो कहते हैं सारे values तो मेरे अंदर ही है, मैं ही सबको अच्छा हूँ, मैं ही राजा हूँ, जो मैं करता ठीक है. This is the arrogance, you know, and we are very proud of it. So what we never learn to see the values of others. So if I want to get out of this arrogance, I start focusing outside and seeing the value of other people. Learn to see, because in this you have to make an effort. If today I am in arrogance, I have to make this effort. I have to make this effort. Remember one thing, vices without any warning, they just enter into the body. But to have the virtues or to make constructive arrogance, what happens? We have to make an effort. So now I will make an effort to see the values in others. Next says, focus your attention, work on body language and be warm. So that means it says that already I've discussed before also, work on your body language. Whenever you are in arrogance, if I'm in arrogance, I will immediately try to watch over my whole body. I will watch my body. And if I see that my muscles are tightening up, or I can see my chin is going up and I can feel the thing, immediately change your body language. I will change my body language and I will mellow down and try to be warm. I will try to bring in certain type of a language which is coated with sweet language, so that my whole body language changes. This is how I'm going to overcome my arrogance. And the next says, engage in small talks and listen. Now I am not ready to listen because I'm not going to be a good listener because I'm in arrogance. So now if I want to overcome the arrogance, then what will happen? I will try to listen. I will collaborate. I will try to talk to people. I will have small talk where I'm going to interact with them and they are going to talk and I'm going to listen. I must learn the art of listening. We are not having the art of listening because we want people only to listen to us. So I want to get over the arrogance. So I will start having small talks and I will listen. That is very, very important. Next says, focus your attention outward, ask immediate feedback. Arrogant people do not want any feedback because they say we are the best. मैं ही सब कुछ ठीक है, मैं ही पला, मैं ही लॉर्ड है, मैं ही सब कुछ है. That's why they say that arrogant people do not wait for feedback. But if I want to get out of this arrogancy, I have to make an effort that whenever we are having any type of a discussion or anything, I should immediately ask a feedback. Is it right or is it wrong? That means I'm changing the energy. I'm making arrogance as a constructive form. So this is how I can get over my arrogance. Okay, now come on to the next, in which it says how to humble an arrogant person. Now someone is there in front of me, and मैंने अपने आप में arrogancy नु जेडी है किसी destructive, I made it constructive. I made an effort to it. और मेरे सामने अगर कोई बंदा है who's arrogance, who has the thing arrogancy in it. Now how do we humble that person down? So you see, the first says have rock solid confidence in your own worth. अगर मेरे सामने कोई बंदा है जिसमें arrogancy है, तो मैं क्या करूँ? What will I do? I am going to have that confidence. I know my own worth. I'm going to be very strong. I'm not going to mellow down. When arrogant people are down in front of us, usually ऐसे कहते छोड़ मने की इसका नाम मत्था लगाना. But then if you want to help him, you have to become solid and have confidence in your own worth. Second point tells, tell them how their words hurt you, refuse to play the game. When arrogant people are there, they're hurting a lot because they're not very good listeners. When they're not very good listeners, so we usually don't put across our thing because they're not good listeners. So we do not even put anything even if you're hurt. But if we really want to help them, put across. Because now you're having the confidence. Now what are you going to do? You're going to put across the words that hurt you. You have to say, this has hurted me. Usually we don't. In front of arrogant people and all say, "Itte matna maran di log." But if you really want to help him, what you have to do, that you will have to put your words across. You have to put your words across. Refuse to play their game. You have to refuse to play their game. And in their game, what? They will tell you like a puppet, what I am saying, right? Do this, do that, do this, do that. So what happened? We are just dancing. Please stop playing their game. Stop playing their game. When you will stop playing the game, they will not take you for a ride. You are actually helping them. Now, the third says, avoid opening up to them too much about your personal life. Do not open up. Do not open up. Because when you open up, the people who are arrogant in front of me, they get boosted up. They say, oh, he has so much problem. So he thinks he'll be more greater. So we are actually harming. So never try to put up any of your personal comments in front of them. Now, what does the next say? Give them a progress. Give them a progress, a narrative story to work on. Because arrogant people who are in front of us, they are not good listeners. They will do what they want to do because they say we are the best. So what a person who's sitting, for example, I am sitting in front of an arrogant person, I will start narrating stories, small story, and give them work to do because they have to learn to listen now. Where they've always been talking, they have to learn to listen. So in giving them these type of little work and all, we are actually helping them. Then the last says, do the last thing they expect you to do. Arrogant people are going to take you for a ride. They'll make you do all type of work. Let it be arrogant mother, it's an arrogant mother, it is a boss, or it's a husband, or anyone in the society. Please stop doing what they tell you to do. We do it because out of fear, because asi una bande na matha nahi marna. But if you really want to help and humble these arrogant people, these are few of the points which we have to remember. And remember one thing, overcoming our own arrogancy and turning into constructive, or helping the person who is in front of us who's arrogant and humbling them down, we have to make effort because we are making it positive. Negative arrogance, वैसे ही आ जाता है, पता भी नहीं लगता साढ़े अंदर आ जाता है. Any vices come with a full army without us knowing also. But to make them constructive, we have to make an effort. Okay, now comes the last slide in which says how to avoid pride and arrogance. How to avoid. So there are about 8 bullet points in that given on the screen. The next slide, how to avoid pride and arrogance. It says, first point, value yourself. How to avoid pride and arrogance? First, value yourself. ਅਸੀਂ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ value ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ. Arrogant people always don't have the thing to value what they have. They never. But if you want to avoid, start practicing that you have to value yourself. The first point says beware. Listen to your thoughts and think of others. What you have to do, you have to beware. Start thinking, be alert. Be alert and think what are your thoughts and evaluate it. Put a dialogue to yourself. Is this arrogancy? Is this pride? Is this constructive? Is it destructive? Learn to listen to your thoughts and things of others. Value yourself. Please learn to value yourself. Help you work towards what you deserve. Don't take yourself too seriously. Don't you take too seriously. Arrogant people take themselves too seriously. Pride comes from fear, embarrassment, shame. See, these are all the undercurrents of, I told you yesterday also that arrogance is the tip of the iceberg. And what was the undercurrent? Pride comes from fear, embarrassment, shame. Admit that you do not know everything. So what happened? These are all mental personality blocks. So you have to learn to put dialogues to yourself and find out your own values so that you can avoid embarrassment, avoid your arrogance and pride, to avoid. So first, beware, listen to your thoughts, value yourself, and the next come leadership qualities. I told you arrogance, positivity leads us to what? Leadership. And what does the leadership lead us? Confidence, determination, respect. You won't earn them if you have too much pride. So leadership, definitely when there's arrogance, leads us to leadership. But when it leads us to leadership, be very careful that it crosses. Many leaderships you will take, they're taking us for a ride. Aajkal to see leaders, dekh lo ki kar rahe. We're all in a soup because of these leaders and all. But if you want to be constructive, then what? Have that confidence. Do the talking to yourself, determination, respect. So this is the leadership quality. If we make our arrogance as a constructive, then ask the right questions. Usually what happens when they're in arrogant, they'll ask you all stupid questions. They'll ask you all stupid questions. Be very careful of what questions are you putting up. Change your questions, change your life. When you're putting up questions and all, you have to be learning and should be a positive outcome. And if you just put questions which are judging, you are going to be in a pit. Be very, very careful of what questions we are putting in front of anyone, because change your question changes your life. So remember one thing, learning questions will lead you to positive outcome. Judging questions are going to lead you to a pit. Now, what does the next one say? The next point, and you just bring to the next point, just bring it to the next point. Okay. My way or highway. Be open-minded. We are not open-minded. We are very constricted. That is, we always say you, please be open-minded. See, hear what other people are saying. Whatever is good and constructive, please take it. But as our mind, our visions are not open. We are very constricted. We have a closed mind. Be open-minded. Arrogant people are not open-minded because they think, main hi main hu. I know everything. I am great. I am always right. I am the king. So what happens to avoid it? Be open-minded. My way or highway. Be open-minded, serve yourself and team members. Do not interrupt in conversation. Take a deep breath and focus. That means be open-minded to listen. That open-minded means only that you have to learn to listen. Today we see that there are in the media, there are many very good scholars have come up with all type of things. Now, many people say, ji, अरे ये तो इंग्लिश बोल रही हैं, हम तो सुनेंगे नहीं. सिख लोग कहते हैं जी, ये तो सदगुरु बोल रहे हैं, you're not ready to listen. What happened? They have become that arrogant. Somewhere they become arrogant and not ready to listen. They become fanatic. That is why we say that arrogancy comes when we become fanatic also. So become open-minded, listen to everything, listen to your teams, understand them. What is good, take in. What is not good, leave it. So now what comes to the next point? The next point says, yes, can you just bring it to the next point? The next point, listen, do not talk. This is a bar carrier. We are never good listeners. In any of the thing, even during the counseling, we say, no, we counselors have to be a good listener so that people can pour up. But we do not. We always want to talk and people should listen to us, because arrogant people think that jo assi bol rahe hain, assi theek bol rahe hain, and they're not ready to take the input of others. They do not realize that the input of others can actually help us also. And when we listen to the people, is also actually a sincere form of respect. It's a sincere form of respect. So be good listener. This is a very, very important point for every one of us. Even when tackling with children, learn to listen. We just barge in. When our spouses come, learn to listen. How attentive you are in the classes, listening to your teachers, become attentive and listen. So listen is a very, very good quality. So when you listen to the people and all, it can be very beneficial to you. It breaks your arrogancy, negative arrogancy, when you become good listeners. And what does it take? Put your business first, not your questions. So what happens when we are doing our business? We put out many questions. We show that we know a lot because we are the habit of talking. Put your business first, not your questions. Because when we put up questions, we are trying to show that we are very smart, very, very smart. Because we have the habit of talking and putting a question. So pride is bad for business. What does the next point says? It says business goals. Now, in business goals, what happened? We are struggling with pride, ego, arrogance, and any other such trait. Put your business goals on the pedestal, not these emotions, not these emotions. Business goals on the pedestal, please put aside all these emotions. ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਤੇ ਬੈਠਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਇਹ ਐਰੋਗੈਂਸੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ what arrogancy emotion ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ I know more. So business which if you try to put in these type of questions and all, you are going to be in a soup. So please do not put up any such emotions when you are in a business goal. Ask yourself this question. When stubborn, argumentative, or defensive, ask yourself, will this help me before better at my work, move on in the company? These are dialogues that you can only put up to yourself. Put up to yourself. I'm so stubborn, I'm got so stuck up, I'm so argumentative, I'm only arguing, I'm putting up question. Is this going to help me? Is this going to help me? Will it improve my business? Is going to improve? These are dialogues that we have to put to ourselves because we are trying to avoid the arrogancy or the pride. Because if we do not put this question to ourselves, you are always going to put up such questions which are going to destroy your own business. So I know this all will be, you'll be getting the recording and all the PDFs also. It will become more easier for you. So I think, Arvinder, we can carry on with the questions. We can carry on with any doubts. Please come up with it.
What we think is confidence may sometimes come across as arrogance. So stop, pause, and reconsider. So this was a session on tools and takeaways on arrogance. So any input, any queries based on this topic, arrogance, we're ready to take it up. Please feel free to ask your questions. You can either raise your hand or put it in the chat. While you think over the questions, we have a very important poster to share regarding specially curated classes that Jeevan Jach is coming up with. So we will share the screen and show you a poster. We have classes for all age groups, starting from 3 years onwards, 3 years upwards. This is for our gems, tiny tots. The younger we catch them, the better. We have a batch coming up on the 1st of July, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., as you can see on the slide. And the age group is 3 to 8 years. So any kids, grandchildren, anybody in the audience, please spread the word around and get your kids enrolled for this wonderful weekend Punjabi and Gurbani course. I'm sure we can spare one day in a week, Saturdays, just for an hour. Yes, any queries? We're open to it now. This was the last of the whys that we took up. Yes, LG. Unmute yourself.
Yeah. I have a question from a friend who couldn't attend the seminar today, the session today. And her question is perfection arrogance?
Yes, perfection is also a part of arrogance. Yes. And this is in आजकल the लोग कहते हैं कि एक बीमारी है. And you can see perfectionists at times causes kind of havoc in families also. ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ very good perfection, but in the long run, this is a negative force.
But you have a lot of people you're surrounded with, and they take so much pride in saying, I'm a perfectionist.
They're ignorant. Yeah. They're ignorant of it. They don't know. They don't know. The perfectionists अभी तो बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. With time, is she going to be in a suit? She will be in a suit.
No, this was her question basically. Maybe she's surrounded with perfectionists.
Perfectionist, yes.
Even I'm surrounded with perfectionists.
Yes. So what happened now? You have to be aware and alert. You have to be aware and alert that this is a part of her characteristic. She has been embedded with that being a perfectionist. Now you know that this is not correct. It is okay to a certain level, but not more. When we become a perfectionist in a house, okay, we are so perfectionist, so much of cleanliness, everything, then the house is not a home. Then the house becomes the four wall, and absolutely spick and span, the perfectionist in everything, even in a work, you are perfectionist. So it's in the long run, it's not great. But then you have to be aware that this is a characteristic. If you can get the message across, fine. Maybe they are not aware of it, and they're very happy with it.
Thank you.
Pooja, but again, there's a very thin dividing line between being complacent or having OCD or being a perfectionist, and it may come across as arrogance. If you have that kida in you, that no, I have to be good in this, and you want to work hard for it. So what is the harm in it?
When we get obsessed, no? Which I told you, arrogance is narcissist. It is. Now, narcissism is a problem, it is a mental disease. But today, arrogance is also that same thing. They put them on the same platform because a narcissist always says, I am the best. I know the most. I can never be wrong. He's not a good listener. He always wants to talk. So what happened? They also put on the same platform. So what happened when we want to be a professional, we want to do and not, I think we get obsessed with it. So as arrogance also has a constructive and a destructive, also perfectionist also has. Every vice has a constructive and a destructive.
Yeah, striking a balance, I guess, is the key word. Yes, Priya.
Yeah, Auntie, you were just telling us that not to back off when somebody is showing the arrogance or probably portraying the ego. So what we do, we take a back seat. Ki acha chal chhod. But you have also taught us to get detached from the situations. If somebody is behaving arrogant or egoistic, so it's better to not to consume yourself in the situations. What I'm talking what I generally do. The other person is getting agitated or irritated or shouting or getting aggressive. I'll prefer, it's my nature or sanskar, whatever you can call it. I will prefer take a back seat. But you just now said don't take a back seat, confront and tell the other person, that you are hurt or this you said or whatever. Or maybe, you can do this with somebody closely associated with you. Okay, if I approach someone that, okay, you were behaving like this, I got hurt. But I feel it further leads to, a lot of arguments and messed up situation. Then again, I personally get a feeling it's better to take a back seat and let me feel detached from the situation. Let me take it in the philosophy of karma, seed, and fruit. So the scene situation has come. It's okay. Let me take a back seat. It's all right. So how should you react? What's the idea of confronting and telling the other person that I'm hurt? Will the person change?
No, but usually this is what we always do. Asi kanya matha ke marna. Detach, move out. Okay. When we detach and move out with a hurt also, that is also ego. And what was the heading of this topic? Of how to humble the arrogant people. How to help them. Don't we have our duty or our responsibility to help these people? Don't we have? पहले तो सानू अपने अंदर दा एक arrogance के ऊपर सानू काबू करना पड़ेगा. First, we have to change ourselves. But if there is a person who has that arrogance, the topic, the heading was this on how to humble the arrogant people.
But so, auntie, other person is not seeking help, no? If you're telling,
no, he's not seeking. He's not because he's not aware. Arrogant people are not aware. उन्होंने पता ही नहीं है इस चीज दा कि ऐसे कितना कर रहे हैं क्या ऐसे कितना अपने आप को हार्म करें कितना सी सोसाइटी में हार्म कर. They do not know. Today we have sharing all this knowledge. So the topic came, if I am arrogant, so how do I? Maybe today I'm very arrogant. The topic has come, how do you get over your own arrogance? I got all those points. So now I will work on myself. Then I'll work. Then I will introspect. But even if I don't damn care two hoots, my arrogance is so much and all, I'll just bypass it. I will just bypass it. I will not go to it. I will not help myself also. What help others? I will not even help myself. But then when I am helping myself also, then I will like to help someone else also. That is how the topic came. That I will overcome my own arrogance. And the next was, how will you humble a person across you who has arrogance?
Yeah, Auntie, there's a very thin line that I will not walk off because I'm arrogant. I will walk off because it will make the situation worse.
Worse. That is, yes, that is why we people say matha na mari, I mean,
और बात बढ़ेगी, हाँ.
बात बढ़ेगी, कम खराब हो जाएगी. ठीक है ना?
Yeah.
But during spirituality, I have taught you so many things of how to change your own energy. अब आपने क्या सोचा? निकल जाओ, मामला खराब हो जाएगा, ये बात बढ़ जाएगी, ये नो की एक्शन का रिएक्शन होके और ही खराब है. So what was your thoughts? What were your thoughts? Your thoughts were all negative. All negative. Let me safeguard myself. Let me go. What did you throw out energy? What energy did you throw out? किसको छोड़ो, let's go, बात बढ़ जाएगी, मत्था की मारना, निकल जाओ. We have thrown the negative energy. The negative energy had gone and he sucks it. बल्कि we have destroyed it. No. ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ destroy ਕੀਤਾ. So when an arrogant person is there and doing all the shouting and all, first heal yourself. कितनी turmoil ਸਾਡੇ अंदर ਜਾਂਦਾ है कि नहीं ਜਾਂਦਾ? चुप कर जाओ, बोलने की लोड़ ही नहीं है कि हिंज को टाइम निकाल के बाहर निकल जाओ. कमी बिगड़ जाएगा. Instead of that, if I say that the person has an arrogance and all, and I have an empathy for it, and I say the person is doing so much, he's wounded. What was the undercurrent? This is the tip of the iceberg, arrogance. What is the undercurrent? Shame, fear, insecurity. कितने न कितने life de vich he is carrying all these vices, all these baggages he's carrying, and now he's put up this arrogance, in front. Some no arrogance.
Hello.
But undercurrent which he ega, I give you all the vices that is coming the army. So when
outwardly, that person who is portraying himself to be very perfect and very egoistic, because according to that person, he's perfect and
yes.
full of arrogance.
Yes.
So actually, the other person is wounded deep inside,
wounded,
which
yes.
even he doesn't know. He or she, whatever.
Know. Yeah, he does not know. These are all the undercurrents within the subconscious mind of file, and he is just covering it up with arrogance. Just gussa. How do we cover it up? साढ़े अंदर इतने tug of war चल रहे हैं, साढ़े अंदर fear चल रहा है, insecurity चल रही है, stress चल रहा है, बाहर की नजर आ रहा है, fear, anger. Same thing in arrogance. So when you see people and all, and the tip of the iceberg is going to be arrogance, immediately confirm yourself with a dialogue. This man is wooden, and there are certain energies under the current, which he is putting this type of a face of arrogancy outside. Main hoshiar. Actually, he's weak. He's a main hoshiar. He knows nothing, but he says, I know the best. He's very poor, but he says, I'm the king.
So after all this wisdom, auntie, nee mein hasi hona hai.
So we have to have an empathy. Empathy.
Didi, Sat Shri Akal.
Sat Shri Akal ji, Sat Shri Akal.
Thank you, auntie.
Thank you. God bless you. Hanji, Tony.
Can I ask?
Yes.
Didi, I was not in the class today because I was busy long time. Though I put the alarm for 7 o'clock. I'm in India, but I could not come on the Zoom.
Okay.
I was busy all the time. So I just heard about the perfectionist.
Okay.
In my opinion, everyone is in certain field is perfectionist. And like I'm an engineer, I'm very much perfect in my field. So is it wrong?
No, but perfection, when you become obsessed, being a perfectionist.
It is definitely like Didi. I mean, you are very much perfect in spiritual classes.
Okay. Oh, that's what you put it.
No, I feel that way.
Okay.
So you are very much perfect. You have, every questions you give the perfect answer. So you are perfectionist. So everybody is in their field is perfectionist.
Okay, today you say that she's a perfectionist. Okay. The day I get obsessed, The day I get obsessed. A perfectionist is not necessary. Perfectionist is an energy. Perfectionist is an energy. That
Right.
energy can be put into any area. Today, maybe spiritual classes. Tomorrow, maybe in my cleanliness. Tomorrow, maybe in my working place. Tomorrow, it can be in my office. I can do all these perfectionists everywhere. But remember that I should not be obsessed. The day I am obsessed that I'm a perfectionist in my spiritual, you will put me a question and I'll give you a wrong answer.
Say it
So you-
again. Say-
For example, today you say you are a perfectionist in where you give all your answers. Okay. Now I will tell you that this perfection, if I start getting obsessed with it, oh, I am a perfection, any question and I give the answer and all, I'm getting obsessed with it.
I mean, I did not get this. How to get obsessed? This one, like, I feel good when I do the good job.
You feel good now, you don't feel bad. You don't feel bad. That is satisfaction. That is satisfaction. Satisfaction comes because of your confidence. This is not arrogance or this is not perfect. This is your
That's
confidence.
what it is. That's what it is. So that's what I did not understand because I did not attend the class. So
Yes.
how a perfectionist become arrogant? That's what my question is.
Perfection. When the
I would like to
perfectionist,
add, because I asked the question by perfectionist, I mean the other person is not ready to listen to any other person, thinking that he or
He is the
her
right.
is perfect, and you
Yes.
cannot give your inputs because he knows what he's doing and what he's
Yes.
saying. So that kind of perfectionist, which has a lot of ego and arrogance.
Yes. So when a person becomes perfectionist, no, oh, किसी बंदे को बंदा समझता ही नहीं है.
Oh,
सिर्फ-
that way.
हाँ, कोई बंदे को बंदा नहीं समझेगा. That becomes a destructive type. He's so obsessed that वो कहते मेरे तक तो कोई है ही नहीं है. मेरा काम perfect है, कोई cannot stand there.
Hmm.
So that becomes a negative.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That way, yes. I got it.
Thank you.
Right.
God bless. Anji Arvinder. I think
Yes,
you
if
should
there's any
open-
more sharing, we can take it up. Otherwise, we can proceed for our quiz, as you know.
Anji,
Yes,
Anji,
Manjeet.
Manjeet.
Manjeet ji, bolo ji.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ
Fate.
ਪਰਫੈਕਟ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਪਰਫੈਕਸ਼ਨਿਸਟ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ, ਪਰਫੈਕਟ ਤਾਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਸੱਚਾ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਹੀ ਹੈ. ਪੂਰਾ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਆਰਾਧਿਆ ਪੂਰਾ ਜਾ ਕਾ ਨਾਉ, ਨਾਨਕ ਪੂਰਾ ਪਾਇਆ ਪੂਰੇ ਕੇ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਓ. ਸੁਖਮਨੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਲੀਅਰਲੀ ਦੱਸਿਆ, ਬੰਦਾ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੀ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ 'ਚ ਪਰਫੈਕਟ ਹੋਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ. ਦੇਖੋ ਸਬਜ਼ੀ, ਕੋਈ ਸਮਝੋ ਕੋਈ ਲੇਡੀ ਹੈ, ਘਰ ਦੀ ਲੇਡੀ, ਜੇ ਉਹ ਸਬਜ਼ੀ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਸਬਜ਼ੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਰਫੈਕਟ, ਨੀਅਰ ਪਰਫੈਕਟ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ, ਜੇ ਉਹ ਅਬਸੈਸ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ, ਜੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਡ ਲੈਣੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦੇ, ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਫੰਨੇ ਖਾਂ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦੇ, ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਆਈ ਐਮ ਸੌਰੀ ਮੈਂ ਲੇਡੀ ਦੀ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਲਈ ਹੈ, ਨਾਟ ਟੂ ਹਰਟ ਐਨੀ ਸੈਂਟੀਮੈਂਟਸ,
Okay, it's okay.
ਤੇ ਵੀ ਇਕੁਅਲੀ ਐਪਲੀਕੇਬਲ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੇਡੀਜ਼ ਹੀ ਹਾਂ. ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਹੀ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਤੀ, ਤੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੇਡੀ. ਸੋ ਪੂਰਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਹੀ ਹੈ. ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਟਰਾਈਂਗ ਟੂ ਬੀ ਦਿਸ ਥਿੰਗ ਐਟ ਦ ਸੇਮ ਟਾਈਮ. ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ, ਸਲਾਈਡਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਡ ਤੇ ਐਰੋਗੈਂਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਅਵੋਇਡ ਵੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਰਫੈਕਸ਼ਨਿਸਟ ਹੋ ਵੀ ਗਿਆ, ਜੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰੇ, ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਵੈਲਿਊ ਕਰੇ, ਅਵੇਅਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ, ਐਵੈਲਿਊਟ ਕਰੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਥਾਟਸ ਨੂੰ, ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ, ਤਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਬਲੀ ਹੀ ਕੈਨ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ ਇਟ ਆਊਟ.
Yes, yes, yes.
ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਬੇਦੀ ਭੈਣ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ, ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਸੁਣਨਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ, ਤਾਂ then that kind of perfectionism is really negative. Yes.
Negative. Absolutely right. Right.
Thank you, Bhuaj.
Anji, God bless. Anji, bacha.
So let's see how perfect we are in our quiz. Let's take a test.
Take a test.
So out with our pens and our writing material, and let's score ourselves and see how perfect we are. Yes, so this is our last quiz of our series on arrogance. Arrogance or ego, the big fat elephant, so many different names. So we start with we always start with the definition. What is ego or what is arrogance? The psychological concept representing a person's sense of self, or the Latin word for I, a term used in philosophy to describe self-centeredness. Yes, what is ego? This was done yesterday, the definition. We always begin our sessions with that. Yes, if we remember, yes, self-centeredness. So ego, true or false? Okay. Is ego always considered a negative trait? Yes or no? True or false? Is it always a negative trait? No. There's always a good side to it. Today we did the benefits of arrogance or benefits of ego. We can look it up in the slides later. According to Sigmund Freud, the ego operates based on which principle? Pleasure principle, reality principle, or superego principle? Thoda jaise out of syllabus zarur jaane hain. So this is just to upscale ourselves. Pleasure principle, reality principle, superego. Hanji. Reality principle. Ego operates on reality. Hanji, we can move on to our agla sawal. True or false? Ego is solely concerned with the individual's own self-interest and disregards others. Ego disregards others. True or false? False. All these will be put up in our website also, so you can revisit there. Which of the following is an example of a healthy ego? Today we did that. Having a balanced sense of self-worth and confidence, constantly seeking validation and approval from others, or putting one's own needs above all else. Example of a healthy ego. Balanced sense of self-worth, constantly seeking validation, or putting one's own needs above all else. Hanji. Healthy ego. I'm sure this answer is pretty simple. Having a balanced sense of self-worth and confidence. Okay, true or false? Ego can lead to conflicts and misunderstandings in relationships. Very, very simple. Does it lead to conflicts and misunderstandings? True or false? Obviously, yes, it does. True. Yes. In psychology, what term is used to describe excessive or exaggerated feelings of superiority and self-importance? Egotism, humility, altruism. Which is a term? Superiority and self-importance. Yes, the correct answer is, I'm sure we all know this, egotism. Moving on to our next. Ego defense mechanisms are psychological strategies used to protect the ego from anxiety or discomfort, boost self-esteem and confidence, or establish dominance over others. Ego defense mechanisms. What do? They protect the ego, they boost our self-esteem, or they establish dominance. Yes, what's the answer? If we have been listening attentively, they protect the ego from anxiety or discomfort. Ego can be both adaptive and maladaptive, depending on its degree and expression. Can it be adaptive and maladaptive both? Yes, it can. True. How can we cultivate a healthy ego? Very simple. We just did that. Developing self-awareness, practicing self-reflection, maintaining a balance between self-interest and consideration for others, seeking feedback, learning from constructive criticism, or all of the above. Anyone or all of the above? Cultivate a healthy ego. I'm sure all of us got it correct. All of the above. Yes. So how perfect were we in the quiz? Anybody wants to share their scores? This was just for self-evaluation, basically, right? No way judges our capacity. Great, excellent. Whatever we may have done, it's fine, perfectly fine. So overcoming arrogance is a very gradual process. We have to cultivate an attitude of gratitude by acknowledging the contributions made by others. Recognize that your achievements are a result of the support and effort of many individuals. We sincerely hope these workshops may have lit the spark of introspection in each one of you. So we meet again tomorrow for our open forum to gain clarity on any topic, any query, any question that we have covered in our series. So that's very important to attend the open forum. It's like a revision. It's like a recap of our entire series. Your feedback is, of course, very, very crucial to us. So kindly put your feedback, your reviews on the website, www.jeevanjach.org, which helps us raise the bar with each consecutive series. And last of the questionnaire on arrogance will be shared in the group for self-evaluation. We'll also be sharing the links of the videos for self-evaluation in the group. So we sincerely thank each one of you for being a part of our series and looking forward to attending many more series. Thank you so much. Would you please unmute yourself?
The quiz which we were coming across, the word ego, is actually denoting arrogance, because ego is home also. So now you can understand home is totally body conscious. And this ego, we don't have another word in English, except for body conscious or ego denoting home. But over here, ego is for arrogance. Ankar vaste use kita gaya. So don't get muddled up, please. Understand the thing. So tomorrow you can come up with any questions. We will try to clear your doubts. And yes, why are you so serious, all of you? Why are you so serious?
Yeah, time for candid pictures.
Yes, yes. I can see Amarjit Kaur beautifully smiling, lovely. Yes, Manpreet, love you all. Yes, Manpreet, I want a broader smile. Yes, yes, all of you. Manmohan, yes. Priya, up onto the screen, Kiran, up onto the screen. Balwinder, up onto the screen. Yes, yes, yes. So, all the smiles. So, good night to you. Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh.
Before